Perfect. Thank you so much for everybody to coming here today. This is an important announcement about our continued efforts to diversify the Alberta economy, create opportunities for jobs today and tomorrow. And I just want to thank everybody that's been involved in this here. And Laura Kilcrease from Alberta Innovates is here with me today as a part of this announcement. And it's just so critical at this juncture as to where we are right now in our province to make sure we continue to invest in the innovators here in the province of Alberta, the people that are creating the next idea that's going to create more and more jobs here for future generations, whether it's in hydrogen, carbon capture, geothermal. The funding here today is to spark those innovative ideas and investments here in the province of Alberta that we need to make sure we have for our diversification efforts, to make sure that people have confidence for today and tomorrow, that Alberta is their home for the future. And we want to make sure, and we want to thank the people at Alberta Innovates for all of their efforts so far in making Alberta one of the most successful places to develop, research and develop ideas in all of Canada. So thank you so much to Alberta Innovates for their effort. And with the announcement today, this is from the tier funding that we have. We're providing Alberta Innovates with $50 million to spark further investment into clean energy. So I mentioned earlier on hydrogen. There's so much buzz right now around hydrogen and the capacity and opportunities that are there. So things like that. So we have an open application process right now. So if you're watching this and you're an entrepreneur, an innovator, and you've got ideas or programs, there's an open application process that's happening right now that's going until the end of November. So it's time to get your application in. We want your ideas. We want you to come in and come to Alberta with the best, most innovative possible ideas that you have in the clean energy space. And Alberta Innovates is going to look at those ideas and assess them and provide out resources ranging from $200,000 to up to $5 million for a project. And there's already some amazing projects that are in the hopper, and ones that they're taking a look at, ranging from geothermal to hydrogen to carbon capture. There's so many innovative Albertans that are out there that have already submitted ideas, but we want to make sure that all Albertans have the opportunity to provide their ideas into this. So there's an open application process between now and the end of November as well. The thing that's really exciting about this too, and it's really important today, is the fact that this investment is going to create over 900 jobs right now in the province of Alberta at a time when we need them right now. They have to make sure that people have job opportunities for them and for the future to have stability in their lives. And this investment is really critical for that as part of our diversification efforts to make sure that people have jobs today and jobs tomorrow. And with that, I'd like to thank Laura and bring her to the mic here as well.
Thank you, Minister Schweitzer. This is an important initiative here at JEI and Alberta Innovates. We're really excited to be partnered with TIER. We believe innovation is key to grow the economy, create new and better jobs for Albertans. And as such, we're building on our natural strengths in new ways using data, digital technologies, artificial intelligence, clean tech, and many, many others. This is why we engage with innovators, entrepreneurs, and industry partners in the resource and clean tech sectors in developing technologies and innovation that will do some key things for us. Number one, enhance productivity, diversify our energy products, add value to our hydrocarbon resources, reduce carbon emissions, and improve our ESG performance. This $50 million of investment in TIER funding will allow Alberta Innovates to accelerate these initiatives that will advance the critical resource sector and our emerging technologies. So, for you, what are we looking for? We're looking for the projects that are shovel-ready that we can get underway quickly. We're looking for technologies that are in the development, pilot, or demonstration stage and have a direct line of sight to commercialization and broad deployment across the province. We are looking for projects that will result in direct reductions in GHG emissions and will enable future reductions in GHG gases. And we're looking for projects that have a direct impact on the economy, more jobs, increased GDP, more value for our resources, and more diversification of the economy overall. We're looking for proposals from technology developers, industry, SMEs, R&D organizations, municipalities, and entrepreneurs. And we're very much looking for collaboration and partnerships amongst those groups. Through them, Alberta Innovates funding can lever follow-on investment from both public and private resources to fulfill the needs that could be challenging otherwise at this time. For example, previously, every dollar invested in clean energy, we have generated up to $10 in additional investment in those projects from outside sources. Program investment ranges for this particular program will be from $200,000 up to $5 million per project. That's meaningful investment from the province. Applicants will have to contribute a minimum of 25% funding. However, we are aiming for a higher leverage of $2 for every $1 invested in this tier program. Alberta Innovates will manage the fund through its continuous intake process for those shovel-ready projects that have already been submitted to us, and through other considerations and a call for proposals given by the Minister Schweitzer today. This tier program will take applications through November 30th, and on November 4th there will be a webinar to tell you more about your application. To get that information, go to Alberta Innovate's website and you'll get the link to that homepage. We've been tasked to get in solid projects, approved and underway, and people working so that we're not wasting any time. Before I finish, I particularly want to thank Minister Schweitzer for his support and for the government for their confidence in Alberta Innovates in our program and the management capacity and our understanding of what's needed in this province going forward. We wish to thank Minister Nixon for his contribution from the tier program. You know, when we combine talent, technology, capital, and some know-how, we can do anything in this province. And so this investment from the tier fund will be quite profound in its results when we come back and report to you. But at a minimum, at a very minimum, this is a minimum double bottom line approach. Through this tier program and through the Ministry of JEI, we will reduce GHG emissions and create jobs in the near term. And I thank you for all your willingness to come participate in this very important program. Minister, thank you.
All right, that concludes the formal speaking portion of our event. We'll go to the phone lines. Please limit your questions to one question. Operator, can you please put through the first caller?
Our first question comes from Emma Graney of the Globe and Mail. Your line is open.
Yeah, good day, guys. This question is for Minister Schweitzer. Sorry, I'm going to take a bit of a detour from today's announcement, as I do sometimes. We're talking about, I want to take you to the Husky-Synovus deal. They've said today that we're going to be looking at another 2,100 job losses here in Calgary. This adds to 2,500 jobs that have already been lost in the energy sector, and CAP, in fact, says it's up to close to 30,000 in 2020. So a lot of things have actually come after you guys have implemented your job creation tax cuts. So what is your message to Albertans, the thousands, in fact, of Albertans who have lost jobs despite the fact that you keep cutting corporate taxes? And also, what are you doing to try and retrain these workers and get them involved in the new economy?
I just think that this highlights the fact that we have to continue to redouble our efforts on diversification here in the province of Alberta. You've heard me talk about this immensely since I've taken on this role as Minister of Jobs, Economy and Innovation. My heart goes out to people that have that instability in their lives, not quite sure if they're going to have their traditional job that they've had for the last while. And that's what got me into politics in the first place. That's what got so many of us involved in this, is because we care about our communities. We care about those that are, hurting right now. And you know what? Our traditional economy in the oil and gas industry, this is a global phenomenon. Like, this is happening everywhere around the world. Companies are having to reposition themselves, find efficiencies so that they can survive in a very difficult time where there was headwinds from the Russian and Saudi price war to COVID pandemic, a lot of unforeseen events. So we're going to continue to make sure that we're there to support our energy industry, to make sure that we have jobs in the future there, because it's still going to be a huge part of our foundation of our economy. It's something that we can build on. It's gotten us immense amount of prosperity in our province. We do have thousands of people that work in this space, and we want to make sure we do everything possible to maximize that resource going forward, maximize the opportunities going forward in there. And for those that are looking at other alternatives as well for their careers, on that front there, on your question about retraining and reskilling, you're going to see a whole bunch of announcements this fall, starting very quickly here, around working with the Minister of Labour, working with the Minister of Advanced Education on opportunities to reskill and retrain. Perfect example, for somebody that's a geologist that's looking for do something different. They're data scientists. What they do on every single day is take a look at data. So how do we make sure it's a quick turnaround time, potentially to reposition them to do a different job if that's what they want to do? And there's lots of different ways that we can do that, which is short turnaround times. And we're going to try and do everything possible as a government to make sure that they have job opportunities for the future here in the province of Alberta. We're going to build on our traditional economy as well as making sure we have opportunities through our diversification efforts to have jobs of the future as well in many innovative spaces. And on that front too, I'll highlight the fact that we had $200 million going into venture capital in the city of Calgary, and that was just recently announced, breaking a record for the entire city. The previous record was $130 million. So there is momentum coming in different elements of our economy that we are seeing. We have to make sure that we have the labor and talent skill sets there as well. So we're doing everything we can as a government, everything we can as a province, leaning into this with our private sector to make sure we have opportunities today and tomorrow for Albertans.
Thank you, Minister. Operator, can you please put through the next caller?
Our next question comes from Thomasia De Silva of Global TV. Your line is open.
Hi there, Minister. Sorry, I'm actually also asking about the Husky and Cenovus merger, but mostly about the whole industry, and it seems to be at quite the pivotal point. How much more, I guess, do you think, how much life does it have left in Alberta, and what do you say to those workers who are losing their jobs?
You know what, my heart goes out to the workers that have been impacted in this. My family, I went through this when I was a kid. My family, my parents lost everything. I know what it's like to be in a tough spot. So our heart it goes out to those folks. That's what got us into politics, so many of us, was to help turn around our province, to give people confidence in the future that they're going to have every single possible opportunity. And I want those Albertans to know that we're going to do everything imaginable in our power here to give them opportunities for the future. That's why we're making every single effort on our diversification file to make sure that they know in this province we believe in them, we believe in the entrepreneurs. There are some encouraging signs here as well that I want them to know about. The fact that we have opened more businesses than that were there before the pandemic. We have 7,400 businesses right now in the province of Alberta. That's 400 more businesses than we had at the start of the pandemic. We've had a record year in venture capital come in as well, which is going to help diversify Alberta. We still have a strong future as well in our energy sector. There's going to be jobs today and jobs tomorrow in energy. We have to make sure we continue to do the research and development on all the emerging elements of energy. Albertans unlock the oil sands. Albertans unlock carbon capture. Albertans will unlock hydrogen as well. And I want those Albertans to know that they're going to have those opportunities. They have a government that's going to fight for them, a government that's going to look for every single way to make sure that we have a thriving economy here in the province of Alberta.
All right, thank you. We have one more question in the queue. Operator, can you please put through the final caller?
Our final question comes from Francois Joly of Radio Canada. Your line is open.
Hi, Minister. A question somewhere in the same line, but maybe more on a broader philosophical view of this. You seem to be talking a bit more about diversifying and different sector of the economy compared to maybe what we heard from now Premier Kenney during the last campaign. Have you had a change of mind, or do you think your perspective has changed on those issues since coming into office, especially since you have this new portfolio?
You know what? I think this is just about making sure we can build on our strengths. A lot of people call Alberta the Texas of the North, but if you take a look at where Texas is today, it's one of the most diversified economies in the United States. And they were purposeful in how they got there. It's not an either-or conversation. This is about and. How do we build on our strong traditional economy in Alberta? And why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we embrace those opportunities for Albertans? Because that's the smart thing to do. And that's what we're going to continue to do every single day, is to focus on diversification efforts, focus on making sure we have every single possible job opportunity for Albertans here in our province, making sure we have the best possible policies as well to make sure we can attract investment and grow. Today's announcement with the investment of $50 million into Alberta Innovates is going to create over 900 jobs in the clean energy space, looking for those innovative ideas of the future here in the province of Alberta.
Perfect. That concludes our announcement for today. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everyone.